Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday, 26th of June, 22nd of June, beg your pardon. Sorry, this month's absolutely flying along. So, let's take a look at these markets. Before we do so, quick update on news event. So I'm just going to refresh this. So I've got yesterday's data sitting there. So Canadian retail sales came out pretty powerfully there in the afternoon, 1.3, much higher than expected. The core retail sales, everything higher than expected. UK inflation, we'd already seen that yesterday, was high. So today we got the Bank of England, of course. We do have a FOMC meeting member speaking this morning at 9, but aside of that, then we're on to the MPC meeting, and that has started, or will have started 12 o'clock. We get the response from that. I haven't got any meeting time on here at the moment. Let me just check on my other system and see. Typical when you're trying to do something there, it's closed itself down, gone to sleep. Right, Bank of England. Nope, there's no scheduled post-meeting meeting. Okay, so there's nothing scheduled, but I'm sure someone will say something. So expectation is it to come at 0.25% higher. There are some that believe it could be as much as 0.5%, and they're looking, it was up to about 50%, a 50-50 chance of getting up to moving up to 5%. If it doesn't do it this time, there's a chance it will be dragged out beyond August, so we'll see. Anyway, there we go. Aside of that, we've got Fed Chair testifying again. This must be in front of the House of Representatives, Senate Banking Committee. But here we go. So we've got him at 3 o'clock. So volatility. We saw the movements yesterday. Around about 3ish. Anyway, right, let's move on and look at the markets, and we'll start off looking at the euro dollar. So euro dollar currently pushing to the upside on the dailies there, continuing to work its way up there. We had the consolidation, we had the breakout yesterday afternoon there. Come 2 o'clock, it took ages and then went, and now this was a line I drew on earlier on. It did eventually go there. Looking at the shorter time frame at the moment, it's sort of just dropping, rolling its way over. Maybe if it gets back to the pivot, it could be a buy area. We'll see if it gets a bounce off that. It's also got the prior highs, these sort of near-term highs with it as well, so we'll see if that occurs. It might just go. If it just goes, well, then I'd be looking for it to push up towards its R2, so we'll see. To say post 8 o'clock, it's a bit early on that one to make too much of a judgment, apart from saying that the general trend is to the upside. The pound, on the other hand, the pounds, it did manage it to finish up yesterday, but it's rolling again at the moment, regardless of the potential of a bigger interest rate increase. I think people are cottoning on to the realization we're really in stagflation. We've got high inflation, no growth or very low growth, and this is the consequence we're seeing in the currency. So at the moment, already through its pivot. Now this might still change. I could drag that trend line that was there along a bit further, and there you go. It might get back above that. It's a bit of a, well, it's out of place now. There's a better trend line going across the top near term, but yeah, it's certainly looking more likely to have a bigger retrace. The only thing is, I don't really want to be shorting it where it is in terms of the longer scale. The bigger scale is still more bullish, and that's the way I'd rather be. So you need to be patient and wait for if it does turn. The dollar yen continues in this sort of consolidated phase. not a lot to be said about that. It's not for, at some stage it will probably break out this consolidated phase just as it did last time, but when is another matter, and how. Best left probably for me at the moment. It's not showing the right sort of trend. The Aussie dollar, well, ended up on a up day yesterday after selling off it after the afternoon session. Really saw it come through. It's sold off again at the moment. We're seeing it sell off again. We're just sort of seeing this. We're seeing it with the Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. They're coming back to prior lows. At some stage they might roll properly, but for now, now it's catching a bounce again down to its S1. We'll see. It's not a clear market in terms of what it's doing. The bigger picture again is, or was, largely upside. It's a break of yesterday's lows gives it more chance of a downside, as that will give us a lower, yet another lower high. It already has done a lower high here, but bounce from it, bullish engulfing, didn't really go too far, but we'll see where that gets to. US dollar CAD, Canadian dollar continues. It managed to bounce through, or I say bounce through, break through even the lows there. It's continuing to strengthen. The US dollar here softening against the CAD quite a way. Consolidation phase we're sitting in again at the moment. But overall, my preference was to see this. I mean, it's in a downward trend, is to be looking for shorts. It does get highly choppy in the mornings. It was sort of about 10 o'clock when it 8 o'clock when it put its high in there, then chopped for 2 hours afterwards, and then it moved a little, chopped some more. It wasn't until 3 o'clock when it really started moving down with those retail sales figures coming. New Zealand dollar, bigger picture on this. Well, it's coming off again at the moment. Really, again, yesterday afternoon there, sort of soft data, and we've seen the New Zealand dollar pushing again, but divergence over this morning's highs there, but yeah, still heading rather on the south side here. I'm just looking to see if this breaks down beyond. It hasn't hit the R1. Maybe if it can get through to 34 there and 50, it could be on for the pivot and further. Okay. Other pairings, quick look at the euro yen, just looking at it from an hourly point of view. Well, starting off at the hourly, then going up the time frames, and keep on warning there's retail traders massively short into this. Once again, they did it all the way up here, all the way through from the breaks here. They've sold it, yes, some may have done okay and did okay again, but it's largely strongly on that uptrend at the moment. Euro pound, well, I should have got my holiday money 3 days ago. It caught a bounce yesterday with the sort of weak or high inflation data, I should say, for the UK there, and well, at the moment it's in that upward trend. I don't trade it very often. It's often not in any trend at all. Euro Aussie continuing to ride to the upside. It's not the prettiest looking picture here. At times it's just long periods of consolidation. It did break yesterday morning. It already pushed most of its way through the morning there, then even with the news largely went sideward, so keeping off the radar. Euro CAD was on my radar, but again, you can see what's happened here. It's gone messy, so I'll leave it alone. Other pairings then, pound yen, for those that are trading that regularly. Again, one that's, you can see a sort of wedge forming here, consolidation, and there's not a lot in that at this stage. Currency pair I am still short on, and may eventually do something, is the New Zealand CAD. The CAD's been doing well, New Zealand not so well. just waiting to see if this breaks further, just really looking for a continuation down to the lows here, but it is slow. But that's the thing with swing trading and position trading, is it can be going against you for part of the way. It seems like half the time, but doesn't really matter as long as the downward moves are bigger than the upward moves, or as big as. Okay, that's pretty much it for me today. So unlike yesterday, there doesn't seem to be a lot immediate. There's a few opportunities, and it's just a case of a bit of patience to see if the likes of the euro comes back to the pivot. There's a potential buy on if it bounces. The pound needs to do something more significant to get into the upward shape. At the moment, not a lot else there. So, quick look across into the indices, but let's first look at gold. So gold really is following this very slow track to the downside here. Really is looking ugly. It had managed to bounce there yesterday, but it's not held on to the gains or not holding on to the gains too well. It's right on that quarterly pivot. Looks like that could be broken again. It's been tested. It's not actually closed below that though. On this hourly basis, it's just come out a little bit. There we go. It's not yet closed. This is a 4 hourly version, still not closed below it. So got a bit of work to do there, but the S1 could be on at some stage. Okay, oil. Let's get crud. Let's get Western Texas. Still largely messy. It did manage to bounce yesterday afternoon with the softer dollar. We saw the move here, same sort of time, 2 o'clock. It pushed off. Now, generally like trading this. I used to always trade it post 2 o'clock, and but I haven't even been looking recently because it's been in such a mess. But it looks like it could be back on for its 2 o'clock trade around about that time. We'll see what develops this morning, but it's erring obviously on the upside there with the high lows, higher highs coming through here. So erring on that side at this stage. Could be limited. There's resistance sitting around the $74 area, so we've got to be wary of that. Equity markets, CSI 300 continue its way to the downside. It really does look like people have cottoned on to the fact that growth isn't good enough in China, and we're seeing the consequences of that coming through on the market there. Whilst everyone else is increasing the interest rates, China's reducing their interest rate, so just shows they're trying to do something to get them out of the muddle. Nikkei still holding up here, consolidating where it is around the highs, potential for some more to the upside, not looking the best yesterday, but it's still a bullish market. I wouldn't be trying to trade against it. There's no point trying to pick the highs in these markets. The Nifty 50 is similar. It's down a bit on today, but it's still very strong in the upward trend there. Aussie 200 had been sitting quite well. Let's have a look. It had not such a good day. Yesterday saw it sell off there, and today it's down quite a way there at the moment. So, so at the moment it's closed quite a way down. Or closing in the futures. The cash market certainly down. S&Ps, E-minis, well, we're seeing a continuation of this retracement at the moment, with a softer dollar as well. Generally, when it's sort of dovish news out, we normally see a bit of a bounce, but it's a bit bearish all round at this stage. Overall, bigger picture still in the upward trend. This is only a minor structural change, and yes, it'll look soft on the 4 hourlies and hourlies at the moment. Intraday traders may be catching some shorts off this movement, but yeah. Okay, Dow Jones, same sort of sell off here, continuation. Remember, this is a softer one, so if you really wanted to go looking, often this is selling more than the others, but same picture across the board there. Actually managed to get a bounce on the softer US news, but since then not really moving. NASDAQ, well, this is the star of the show, and it's not. I've still got bad data on that. Sorry, it's I've got to change data on that. Okay, DAX running southbound here. Really came out of that consolidated phase, really pushing southbound at the moment, and yeah, really weak looking at this stage now. The 4 hour is pretty weak. The daily is switching back. It's run back below the monthly pivot there, just looking on that soft side. FTSE's not looked particularly good recently, and this also is running southbound, and the futures are down at the moment. Okay, that's it for now. I'll catch you later. Take care. Bye for now.